Let's make sure we're 10 o'clock. Looking at this bull flag here in Milan. I'm pulling the trigger, but the only thing that's holding me back is obviously, the fact that we're still inside the opening range, but the wide range ATR. So what's the setup? It's kind of high level base, background volume, background volume. We got this kind of like overhead resistance, so we're not at 52-week highs. There's kind of some stuff to the left, but not too much, just like this little area and this little over-under level. The main thing that was stopping me from placing this trade, aside from the fact that we are within the 30-minute opening range, is that the wide range ATR is like $2. Even on like the biggest days, you're looking at like 250. The biggest one here is close to $4. So we're already up kind of $2 like right off the open. But if we said $4, definitely could be a trade. The volume is relatively high in comparison to other days. So I mean, this is definitely high volume. Opening drive through a pretty obvious level. I'd say this. 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of touched it, respected it here, so no wonder it broke out there. But in relative volume to the past few days, kind of just like hovering beneath the level. So maybe this is a trend continuation trade. But if we start, I see, and this is like where I'm running into the issue. Okay, I feel like strong opening drive through, but we kind of hit the ATR. So do I pass? Here, is there really a spot to enter? What do you call this flag? And if I bought in here, I'm risking below VWAP, so I only bought a couple hundred shares. But the big thing is 2 strikes again. Got a lot of things going for it as far as like the level, opening drive, the volume. But we have like the ATR being done, and also kind of the overhead resistance, kind of where it ran into some trouble. So I think, as you say, just like it's better safe than sorry, and just pass. But if it bounces off VWAP and starts going sideways, at the high of day, like I might look to throw on a trade later. But I think right now is definitely something I want to avoid. First pullbacks of VWAP have not been in my wheelhouse. But I really didn't see too many other things going on. Mile was pretty high up on the volume buzz. That's why it caught my eye. And obviously this volume, on the up move was constructive. So, the only thing, like I said, is keeping me kind of hesitant is just the lack of volatility on these wide range bars. Like, this is like the widest range bar, close to $3. And so, what I'm saying, we're at $1.75, already. So, I mean, maybe you can get another $1.50, $1.75 out of this. But I don't really see a clean entry here. Like you talk about like a real layup, a real can't miss trade. I don't know if this is the one, but it could be. I guess. Fuck. Anyway, so let's kind of go through the high beta. Like overstocks in play because of volume, but aside from this day, I haven't really seen the daily chart set up. Naked gap, or naked gap up, naked gap down, just like maybe setting up some other trades. Just keep an eye on it, I guess. If it sets up for intraday trade, like, oh shit, naked gap up, set up for maybe an intraday trade down. That's just what's been going on. But we're in the business of looking for the absolute best trades here. So many fucking lines. So, I ended up selling SQ yesterday, pretty much around the low tick of the day, right there. I mean, and then I got out, and so, because I saw this, I had that level mark before, and that's where we closed on the low of the day. So, but as I talked about, maybe this spot to enter would have been better, somewhere here. This is the real layup trade, where you're in here, enter anywhere here, and you risk 12 cents, and you make 10 to 1. So that's the real trade that was missed yesterday. So I kind of go sideways. I mean, Just because we're kind of flirting with VWAP now, so kind of overlapping here. I really do just like this volume. Like, it's high on the volume buzz, and I think that says something. So, you know, I'm going to throw in, you know, 300 shares, give myself 30-cent risk just below VWAP. See how it goes. Now this ranges are tightening up. I really need to get some high keys going on this shit. I don't even have to risk the full $100, you know, just like. So we'll see, you know, if this, so at least, you know, I'm even like what I'm risking now, I'm like 2-to-1 just back to the high day. And then, you know, if obviously we're talking a measure move, you know, maybe like another $2. We'll see. So, you know, the volume of play might change things. Might change the complexion of the day, and we're coming off a higher level base. You know, on the, you know, we got a couple months of sideways here. I might have set up, you know, some juice to keep going up today. I don't know if there's any news or anything in Mile worth checking out, but anyway, I feel like I got a, you know, I could get a pretty decent, you know, entry in here buying the market. I wouldn't get slipped too much. Maybe this turns out to be a poor idea, but you know, I think it definitely had more things going for it than against it. As we said, things going forward, it's you know, coming off a daily high-level consolidation, like base breaking over a level with the opening drive on supporting volume. We're at full cove H. You know, we are inside the 10 a.m. opening range and the wide range ATR. I wasn't a fan of that, but this could just be a you know, definitely like could be me like you know, chasing, and after we've had this opening spike, and you know, I could definitely just be chasing here, but we'll see how it goes. And what the hell were we talking about? Square. So yeah, just that layup in SQ yesterday. And see, like I used your thing, but look at the fucking price there. I'm looking at another chart, so I'm listening, dude. I really am. And so yeah, you know what was great about Square? It like opened up, went sideways off the open, and like you said, as long as you know, it doesn't really matter where you enter. I've had the shittiest entry possible, and you know, I still risked an appropriate amount and stayed in the trade. You know, obviously you could have risked a lot more over here. And I think that's the lesson. Is like this is that juicy fruit. You know, the good shit right there. And so definitely worth. That was definitely worth the playbook. And I would definitely call this like you know, at least A+ intraday. I don't know if the daily chart setup was A+. It was definitely an A+ intraday, and one of my favorite patterns intraday, just because you know. We are full Cobell, and then that consolidation near the lows of days is really gives me a lot of confidence, and I feel like that's a pretty high probability trade when this happens. So anyway. I also have a really bad habit of watching an open position. You know, once I put something on, I want to stare at it. You know, kind of like a G-Man talked about. You know, how he would put on like a feeler trade in like one good trade, you know, just to like kind of let him know that, so we keep an eye on it more. And I feel that way a lot. Anyway, so yeah, you know, volume and play. It's not that bad. I like my idea. We'll see. I mean, it's obviously working out. I could be just getting lucky right now. Defer to your greater wisdom, I suppose, but I think I talked my way through it pretty well. Of course, I want to get there more coherently and you know, a bit more quickly. There you go. You know, grow. That was a nice little place to enter right there. Obviously, so the difference between Mile and grow is this is right in my wheelhouse as far as price goes. So, you know, there's $16 and or 16 cents, you know, so definitely throwing a lot more size in this kind of thing. Volume blast right there. You know, volume's been in play here too, and a multi-tap level that I marked from the day before. So, you know, talking about consolidating above the level. So, how long was that? You know, 10 minutes. And so, you know, kind of coiling up there. Would have been a nice little low risk entry spot. Yeah, so you know, this is the difference. You know, maybe you know I got to be prioritizing grow over mile. Maybe that's the difference here. How can I trade better? So and also, you know, what's my thought process as far as like um, you know, how I start working on exits. I think this is probably the first good entry I've had. Um, you know, so I've been knowing when to break your rules, but like first good entry I've had to kind of put myself in a position of mental strength. So yeah, but good pullback rule is to take off a piece like up into that first target of the day, and then you know move my stop to break even on the rest. But I don't want to fuck with stuff too much. It's kind of like thought process for down the road. I do just want to kind of let it ride and you know not fuck with it because you know the sitting is what makes the money, right? So it's Livermore. So it's just like sit and let it do his thing. But this you know at least fits all my rules. Whereas Mile, you know, I had to break a couple rules to enter in there. So, but I mean, I'm definitely concerned. I'm definitely concerned about the wide range ATR days. So we'll see, you know, how much actually we get out of this. But let's say there's some volume, you know, coming back up. But it could just be like to top this bad boy out. We did go up, you know, pretty quickly right off the open. So you know, definitely either consolidate here or make some new highs. And you know, I'm definitely fucking very greedy, man. I look at my P&L a lot. I know it's a terrible habit to have, and I definitely let that influence the decisions I make. You know, later in the day, whether I'm in the money or you know watching it evaporate, you know, in a pullback or something, it definitely makes me emotional. I think that's worth you know worth thinking about and talking about. But you know, so where it stands right now, you know, my risk was 30 cents. Didn't really have to be. It could have been less, but you know, call it 30 cents. So I went 300 shares, and so you know, when I'm at 2 to 1, so I'll move my stop to break even. You know, is a pretty good rule. I think that'll you know definitely not let this trade turn into a loser, and it shouldn't come back to this level. I'm definitely gonna like scrunch it up, you know, to slightly profitable now, and if we get stopped out, then you know I'll take a break even trade. So I kind of stole that from you. You were talking about 2 to 1, 2 to 1. You move your stop up to break even. But I think for the you know I'm gonna move it again and fucking fuck me, right? But just as tight as I can below this little. So this is where you know this is where my idea is invalidated. I don't want it to come back just near here and then fucking you know dig me out of it. So I'd rather just wait a little bit. Um, but feel free to laugh at me later when that happens, because I know you're gonna. So Scamp, are overlapping the past like 4 days, volumes in play. Let's see, it's setting up intraday though. I guess the volume's a little above average, but as you say, you're in the shadow of this bar, which kind of makes everything in here harder, right? Even though we do have this overlap, you are in the shadow here. So there was a whole lot of other shit going on. I didn't see a lot of great setups coming into last night. So it was kind of opened up and saw that Mile was so maybe Toppy, right? We talked about, or I already talked about, this might be a ATR finish. So anyway, gotta hang tight on it. Yeah, just when I opened up, just Mile was at the top of the high beta list, and so a lot of Roku, Riot sort of action hasn't really been set up, and so those were earlier. I missed those good trades in there. I'm sure XNet will probably spit out some good trades, but it's kind of just stuck in a big sloppy range, and just wait for it to set up a little bit more. I mean, I really have to talk about this shitty trade I made in DPW yesterday. Like, it's so unnecessary. You talk about unforced errors, man. So, I had myself convinced because of Riot the day before that if price gets above, to the daily high, but then, that's one thing when we're hovering here, and that's a different trade. Then just like we kind of bottomed, and then we flip over VWAP, and I try to get cute, and it's just like, is this a trade? Is this something that we talk about as high probability that we've gone over? And the answer is clearly no. And I kind of stopped myself out, whatever, 20 cents. I kind of like didn't take the full loss. I just kind of put it right in there. I was just like, okay, this is a shitty trade, but like a very unnecessary loss. You know what I mean? Like fucking Square killed it yesterday for me. And it was a trend trade, and all I had to do was sit there and just have a good entry, and but had to mar a good day with a really unforced error, and for me the unforced errors keep compiling. So like you say, you weren't mad at me about, oh, this was me covering my short that I had held from over the weekend. Anyway, but like you weren't mad about Roku, whatever. On the 11th, I think that's like averaged my price in because that's what Gabe always do. And then Roku, we already said on Tuesday was not, or at least I didn't think that this was really had shown me a lot of intraday that this was the time that it might move. Riot was definitely one good trade. SQ is definitely one good trade, and DPW's not. So, I'm maybe 3 out of 5 now. And now I'll say, maybe 66% on one good trades this week. And unforced errors, man. It's like how many other shitty trades can I avoid that'll enhance my bottom line at the end of the month if I just avoid the shitty trades. So this is like talking about taking some profits up here and then moving the stop up. But definitely no, you know, the principle of where I entered is invalidated at that point. So kind of knew there's some zone over here, and that's where we topped out at intraday. So if that is the case, and this really is, you know, not that good of a trade, then well, the trade I made at best was a scalp, and you know, that's not the shit I should be taking, right? So. See how it resolves itself. But definitely, man, you know, if for some reason this comes back and I get stopped out, and you know, giving back, giving like being in the money a little bit, and giving that back, and you know, turning it into a losing trade, you know, having a loser after being in the money some really sets me off emotionally. It's one of those things that makes me go on tilt pretty hard. You know, but I'm also, you know, my fear of missing out makes me not want to, you know, follow a 2-to-1 stop rule from my entry and risk, you know, getting stopped out. So it's like, where's the fine line to walk? You know, how do I make it objective enough and just fucking follow it to the T? But you know, it's like, do I really want to follow it to the T when it drastically increases my chances of getting stopped out? I don't know. If I would have held square, you know, overnight last night, I covered right on the open today. Well, you know, holding overnight is not something that really makes me feel good. When I like the only one time I ever held a real trade overnight was Nvidia, and it just like I was up, just like couldn't sleep thinking about it. So I know I could never trade fucking Bitcoin, dude. If I bought Bitcoin at 1,000, I'd been out at 2,000, and then it would have been 10 times as worse for me watching, you know, selling to 2,000 and watching that shit go to 17,000. So it's like, yeah, I'm pretty jealous of the other people that bought it, but at the end of the day, I don't give a shit. Definitely, man, that's definitely a real level. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 touches breaking it, listen volume in the background, going sideways underneath it, like a pressure rejection before it, volume as we break it. So you know, I'm over here being a little bit, being a little bitch, man. Anyway, but you know, overall, like I really am feeling this video process has made my trading better. Just like having just having no secrets. You know, it's really easy for me to fudge some shit, you know, and not say something to you or but you know, I'm only hurting myself when I lie to try to make myself look good rather. But it is definitely making me think. It's just making me think like a whole lot more about like, do I really want video evidence of like me placing this shitty trade? And it's like, definitely not. So why shouldn't I do that all the time? Yeah, I ran from San Francisco to New York in 46 days. It's crazy. So yeah, there's not much to do. Just kind of sit here and read about fucking Bitcoin. Just like letting the trade roll. Didn't see a whole lot going on. Twitter breaking out to 52-week highs. I mean, it's kind of hovering. Was there really a spot to get in? Maybe here. Then we got a here's the VWAP. VWAP. A little sideways above the level though. I mean, it's definitely the widest. Widest range bar is $1.80. We're at $1.20. So there's 60 more cents left to go today. From here, so I gotta risk 40 cents to get 2 to 1. Maybe not. It'd be great if this just stays a higher low. Here, we'll see. Smith. Yeah, it's coming off long-term base. A gap up. Doing nothing. All intents and purposes at an all-time high at 450. I want those alert for later. Old Smitty. Late grow failed. But this is one of those, maybe this is more of like the riot trade I took, but still, if I got in here and there was 20 cents and I lost, I don't know if I'd be too mad at myself for that trade. Uh-oh. It's going to be a lower high. It's going to be a higher low. Well, which one is it going to be? Can. Yeah. Oh, I did neglect to mention I am going to be gone over Christmas. I'm going to Europe for Christmas because I got a camp, or not really a camp, but like my part-time job. Like I tutor these couple boys 3 times a week, and their mom wants me to tutor them in the month of January and February. So I was going to travel then, of course, look for some extra work. But now I'm just going to get to stay in Korea and tutor them. So it's going to be sweet. I'll make some money, have some actual free time, and so I decided to travel. As you maybe saw on the Book of Faces, I have a new girlfriend, and I'm going to go to France and England and Ireland, and I'm going to be with her during the trip. So won't be trading from Christmas Day until just after New Year's, so a couple weeks. So probably Bitcoin's going to crash, and fucking there's going to be 100 million setups, so I'm not going to be around to trade. That's just how it goes. So, higher low. I do feel pretty comfortable moving my stop up to break even now, since it's VWAP. But I want it to be less emotional, my stop, than that. Definitely saw AMP breaking out earlier. I was definitely high on the volume buzz. After 52 guys coming off the base, so this is like, calling out late, but this was something that was happening earlier in the day. But, I know this is one of those where if you truly are on you're trading your own money, you come in here, do something like this and risk 10 cents, and you can trade 1,000 shares. But I don't. I can't. When I go back to bulls, it's going to be. I think they bumped me down to a 300 share maximum, which is fine. Like I need smaller position sizes anyway. A very greedy side of me was that I tried to get as big as possible all the time, which at least in my demo I've been erring on the side of caution lately. If I think I can get a tight risk for 25 cents, I give it that extra. I'll bump it down, and instead of 400 shares, I'll go to 3 and risk that 33 cents to give myself the extra room instead of a quarter. And operating with a tighter risk will come with time, I think, with trading setups and more confidence, and getting bigger like what Bella talks about. But right now I just want to be making one good trade and putting stops in the right spot and getting in at the right time and trading good stocks first and foremost. But anyhow, people are giving out loans to Bitcoin holders. That's gonna be great. Yeah, man, if you're binge watching this, fucking it's better than Netflix. I know. Start my own reality show, just like Sean SlowCharts.gov. I don't know, my brain's not working yet. Just like, I mean, this is what they talk about. Trading's supposed to be boring, right? Just fucking cool. Got my signal, place my trade. Great, sit, wait. Mark. It would have been nice if Twitter just didn't go straight up. The aggressive stop would have been, just under here, I guess. 5-1 if you risk 10 cents. I don't really like that. Crazy Twitter's going up after it's just been like eating shit for so long. Sideways, 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 sideways. Hey. Volume solid though. Yeah, I mean, that's real volume. So, as far as the daily chart setup, I definitely think this is, those can't misses, kind of a couple days overlapping. Open lower is good, took out the level. 74 cents away. We said the wider JTR day is $1.70 above the level. There's the level. Couple sideways right at the all-time high. So maybe this is a trade I shouldn't be missing, And Mylan is working, but maybe this is the one. This is that trade of the day. This is that one with the true daily chart setup. Let's see if Mile breaks out. Looks like rejection there. But can't let every 1 minute bar jerk you around. This is what you're talking about. Like, if I can use 5 minute, use the 5 minute. That's what Twitter looks like on 5 minute. Straight up. Straight up. Raindrop. Drop top. Pretty damn liquid. That's for sure. $170. $180. $150 right now. Right? Raindrop. Drop top. Drop top. Hopscotch. I'm gonna try to convince myself that I did the right thing here, even if I didn't. Keep zooming out, and it's the highest fucking volume, that's for sure, you know. Highest volume in the past few days. Honestly, I don't know if I would have seen that, I would have been ready dinner right there. A little tightening above the level. Probably would have wanted to see it go a little longer. So maybe I would have missed this anyway. I definitely feel this is emotional entry here. I mean, I said whatever. I saw this like overlapping bullshit. Maybe, but I think when I rewatch this video, I'm gonna feel like this was an emotional entry because I didn't really discuss why it was so good. I mean, I kind of fumbled, around why I thought it might be a decent trade beforehand. But I definitely think the pros outweigh the cons at the end of the day. But some scans, see what's up. Actually, honestly, I didn't have Mile on the high beta. It was on this list over here, and I was actually running a scan earlier in healthcare. That's when Mile popped up, so I'm glad I did that. And Pier 1 imports. It's like get John Gruden in here, you know. Yeah, Chris, what we got here is a 20 period moving average, moving near the midline of the Kellner. We're just going to buy the dip right in there and hold for a 5-to-1 risk reward. No, I really think is a good trader. Paul Tudor Jones. That's a real trader. He gets a grit grind. He knows, I'm done with that shit, alright. This is how fucking just like I'm over here. Wanted to do something. The hour in. Seeb. Spencer just called us out on fucking Twitter. Oh shit. Seeb in pre-market. Nope. So, what we got here? Volume halt. So, I hate trading shit after a halt, man. And I do not feel any confidence in this setup. You risk $1 for it's fucking gone up like, I don't know, almost 100% in like fucking 2 hours, so fantastic. GG, whoever bought Seeb. That's all I gotta say. I'll stick here with my fucking Mylan sheath. Let's see if Mylan's got any news. Mylan got some patent thing just came out. So a couple new patents on some insulin drugs. So throw that, throw that fuel on the fire, especially with sideways daily, breaking another level, volume on opening drive, fresh news. Seeb. Probably one of the motherfucking crypto bullshits. If you really wanted to be aggressive, you just put this shit right here, right? 30 cents and bam, 3-to-1. No, it's gonna go. Was this the one for the day? Spencer making the magic happen on Twitter. People definitely fading this shit. It's kind of analyzing the overall market picture, which is uptrend. Still, making new all-time highs, but just kind of hanging out here. It's kind of like you talk about, like, okay, it took 2 bars to go down and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go back up. So, yeah. Anyway. Bull runs don't last forever. They only last when I blow out my account and I can't trade. This is when I want to trade, right? I want to trade in this. Then I want to trade in. I want to trade in this. It's fucking ridiculous, right? It's like I want to trade in this, and I want to trade in this. I killed myself, dude. Twitter, let's do anything. So definitely getting near the wider JTR here. We're up $1.60. Said the other 2 days were, $1.70, $1.80. Interaction miles pretty constructive. It's not giving me any cause for pause. And I like that it's tapped the same level 3 times. So it means when it breaks, it should break with a bit of vigor. How much longer we got in this video? 7 minutes. So we'll see what happens, man. This is the day I'm probably the most curious to go back and watch. I feel like it took me a long time to get around to why I had a setup in this trade. It's quite telling. And just so I need to be faster. I need to be much faster, with identifying why I want to be trading certain things or avoiding them. And that comes, I think, with a lot of preparation. I didn't have that level marked in mile. Just kind of saw it on the volume buzz. But then, I just had to develop the plan quickly. And, I guess that's the point. I want to be able to get to where I can assess the situation real time. But obviously, it makes it easier on yourself if you're prepared coming into the day. They look on the 5 minute. My grandma and your grandma sitting by the fire. My grandpa said to your grandpa, something, something. Fire, higher. I really like Redler. Everything he does is so high beta. I guess that's what the big boys do. They trade high beta. But it seems like it's so much harder, like if I can take a look at Amazon's daily chart. Maybe is a trade in here, if it breaks out there. Definitely over here is definitely a trade, these couple days, or if you're expecting a bounce in this resistance level or prior support level. Like, what else is it on Amazon, fucking Facebook. Like, I don't want to be trading shit. It's like, I don't know, man. Seems like a lot harder to me. And this shit does move, you know what I mean? You're moving $7 a day. You figure out how to participate in these days, but I don't know. I don't know how to. Hell, I barely know how to get myself into one of these situations. Oh shit, I forgot I had some more food. So I'm probably about to sit here and just like watch this position. Don't really plan on placing any other trades. If something like really sets up, this would, you know, be eating up all of my capital anyway, and a Bulls account. I'm not sure how much I started out with, honestly. You know, definitely if we do a quick P&L breakdown since I've started coming back, you know, so up like 100, down 140. So, you know, kind of break even right there. It's a big day in XNet. You know, so like, okay, I've kept my losses all pretty reasonable. I had like a huge loss, but just like, you know, a couple trades have kind of made my month so far. It's not like I've had like even with a bunch of shitty trades mixed in, you know, I've still managed to kind of float around, break even or slightly profitable. So, but definitely it's not about the money. It's about following a good process, and you know, the days when I follow a good process, I tend to have good trades. And you know, when I don't follow a process, I do shit like DPW. And you know, I can kind of forgive myself for Roku on, you know, on this day. I'm not so mad about that one, but DPW, that's some baby back bullshit right there. There's no reason for that. Okay. Sideways. Volume coming in. It's a level. Some arbitrary level I've drawn, I'm sure. An arbitrary level I've drawn. Fantastic. Alright, man. So, no, it's probably been a big waste of your time to sit and hear me ramble through this whole fucking hour, but I don't know if you got shit else better to do, and you're just like, sitting and laugh and make fun of me, so I'm sure you're having fun with it too. But, you know, I'm definitely enjoying this process. I'm definitely enjoying making these videos. Like, going back and rewatching them has been very helpful, and I think, like, I've seen a market improvement in my trading just in the, you know, 3 days we've been doing it. I've just been much more aware, much more cognizant, thinking, you know, about what I'm doing, really wanting to follow the process at all costs. And maybe that's what it was, just the threat of embarrassment is what it took for me to, like, follow some rules. But anyway, dude, see how Mile rolls out, and see if I make some more good trades at the end of the day tomorrow.